Are we good? We should be live. It says it's starting, so YouTube has received it. All right.
Here we go.
Yep.
We're on.
Make sure I hear you. Yep. I hear you perfectly fine. So, yeet! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the start of the 2018 Sunoco Elite Series season here. Pre-season testing. As we are here right now at the Denver Roval in Denver, Texas, for what's going to be the second race here later this year, but it is starting out leading us here in preseason testing. I expect Roush to show up eventually, but I do have Duncan here with me now.
Hello.
Every preseason testing session will be a 30-minute session at each track, and this is where everyone's going to get to test their early season pace. Making sure I have the chat up so I can actually read it. This is going on. All right, so now I have the chat, so now I can actually see. Oh my god, stop being bad with me, chat.
Pet walls, here I come.
Hi, Brooklyn. Nice. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this size so I can see everything. Yep. All right. Good. So we are now here. All 42 cars are lined up. Or is it 42? Yeah, I think it's 42 cars that are lined up.
Every full-time car.
Every full-time car. Part-time cars will not participate because we would exceed the limit. It's a shady 79 degrees here at the Denver Roval as the cars are rolling up pit lane. The first 30-minute session at our first road course. 2 road courses, 2 speedways, if you didn't know. And this is our first stop down in Texas. There is the Trailblazers do not have their schemes in, but they have test schemes. Can we get a better view? That's 78. We can get a view of... Oh, thank you, Paul. We can get a view of that 78. Sean Angel back at Trailblazer for his first time since Season 4. After having runs elsewhere, went back home.
Along with one of our many Rookie of the Year contenders, Volstein von Schaefer.
A record-breaking rookie field this year. 8 cars now being fielded by rookies. And it's expected to be an interesting Rookie of the Year season. But we got a lot of teams to go over today. As you can see, Angel pulling out of pit lane. Bartlett, my volume is way too high. Hold the phone for just a minute. That is better. Let's see if we can get eyes on our reigning champion. There he is, your Season 6 and reigning champion coming into 2018. Paul Jackson driving for Maverick Wolf Racing. And obviously, he's going to be the title favorite this year. He has already been voted the title favorite, and it was expected. He's driving good all of his career, and coming back out here, he did not... he opted to go with the number 10 instead of taking the number 1, this is the first time in history someone has opted out of the number 1 car. He wants to stick with his number 10 for this year. And Maverick Wolf mostly stays the same, except for a huge sponsor change and 1 driver change, which has been known for a long time. But Duwalt, with Rowe's departure from Maverick Wolf Racing, Duwalt has transferred over to the 80 car with Philip Scott, as Scott's back in the 80 car this year, although Scott will have 2 schemes driving this year, being a Duwalt and a Stanley car palette swap schemes. So he will be driving his Duwalt scheme here in preseason testing. Scott is an interesting one. He is one of 4 people to have 7 or more wins in his career, but he isn't the most consistent of guys on the track. So, finished 6th in points last year, if I'm correct. So, he's looking at a good season this year if he can keep good pace as he had last year. But he got wins last year. Roman Rahal, however, did not. Roman Rahal went completely winless last year. Somehow, someway, and that is Connor Monaco in the grass. Connor is way out of line. What are you doing, Connor? Okay.
Seems there might be something wrong with that car. Oh yeah, that thing is not taking corners. Something's wrong with that car.
And he was clipped by Jay Durrell due to it. We'll talk about him later. Roman Rahal went winless last year, but he still finished a great year overall. It was a great year for the driver of the 83 crew. He did finish top 5 in points, and he's looking for another great season, but he would really like that win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Maverick Wolf Racing, like Jason Wolf, he wants he's gone record. Like he says he wants Ray Hall to win this year. That is his expectation. That is his expectation for that 83 team.
Yep.
So consistency's good, but they want wins.
Yep, and then the new car this year. This is it's a recognizable scheme, but a new number with Eric Monaco now fielding the Raybrigg 87 this year after moving over from Travis Ultra Autosport. The new Travis Ultra Autosport, which was Clubhouse Racing, and he is expected to be very, very fast this year if he has the pace he did last year in the rank B. Expectations, I'm not sure expectations are higher for any other driver in the field.
Yeah, a lot of drivers think that he could actually win the title this season. We'll see about that. Obviously, like a lot of big things going for this team. They want to follow up on their success from 2017. It was their biggest year as a team, and it's gonna be a tough act to follow up. But yeah, as the new head of the Honda program, a lot more teams in that program now. The pressure's on for them to actually follow up on last year's success.
Yeah, and last year's success is going to be hard to follow with the teams following past.
However, with keeping most of their core from the previous season, they certainly have a good shot to do so.
Yep, and obviously there are people saying that people are going in the grass. That is because people are still trying to get used to this new package. The package is much higher horsepower, which means it's much harder to make corners because you're so much faster now. But we look at the second team on the grid. That would be the obvious Roush Racing Enterprises and the driver who won here last year, Aiden Shepard, back with Texaco this year, but now it's a red and black Texaco scheme. And Shepard's an interesting face. Definitely an interesting face around here. He's gotten a lot more aggressive over the years, but he's the super speedway king.
Well, that's what makes him good at super speedways and other tracks.
And I didn't even know you came in here, Roush. Welcome, Roush.
Yes.
And it's already been commented by you, Roush, that you did not want to expand to 4 cars.
I did not want to expand to 4 cars, and I want to get down to 3 again as soon as possible.
Yeah, so this is a new venture this year that is not really something that you like.
It's not, and I don't want to... I hate that I'm going to have to cut someone, but... I mean, if Mulcher and Faber do well enough, I might just try to find a ride for myself elsewhere.
Yep, but speaking of them, Tyler Faber, after an amazing replacement run under the 58 after Hans Windhelm's incident with Fitzwater back in Nashville in 2017, Faber is now in uncharted territory for himself. Rank A equipment. Whereas his full-time career only spent time down in rank D, he is probably the biggest question mark up in rank A right now.
Yeah, he definitely is. Mulcher's been with this team before when they were ranked B, so there's not really an issue with him. It's more Faber's a big question mark.
Yeah, and, Mulcher, not only was he a driver for this team back before, but he has driven for a rank A team in the past, being back when he was on Full Frontal Motorsports before Anderson took his ride.
Yeah.
He was the driver for the 40 car in 2016, and now in 2018, he's back on Roush Racing. And honestly, I'd say expectations are pretty high for him. He's had a great career so far, and I see it getting better if he can live up to expectations in the 37.
Yeah.
But then there's you, the 38 car, Scott Roush.
A potentially big question mark in the early parts of the season, as that car is not on the owner's points. Like Scott Roush gave the owner's points to the other free cars. So for the first, I believe 3 races of the season, he has to race his way in.
It's actually 5. It's the entire A1 tour.
5. Yeah, I didn't remember, but yes, for the start of the season, he has to race his way in.
And then it's the quote-unquote dream team from last year. Full Frontal Motorsports. William Brock lost his sponsor with SunTrust that he's had for many years, and has now taken on Synovis for 2018.
Didn't SunTrust file for bankruptcy or something?
They merged.
They merged with another company, and Full Frontal Motorsports, the deal fell through because of it. And Full Frontal did not want to re-sign with them.
Yeah, but Full Frontal Motorsports, one of the prime examples of why you should never call a team a dream team, because they definitely, while they did win a lot of races last season, they definitely failed to meet those expectations.
Oh, they were a dream team if you mean that they were dreaming all season.
If I'm correct, they were the lowest rank A team at the end of the year last year, so they come into here with the 4th seed on the team charts. But I do expect a lot out of them. I still do expect a lot out of the team, because they do still house 2 champions. But the biggest question, arguably the biggest question mark in the entire field, comes in the form of their rookie driver, Cody Lamas.
In a brand new 4th car, numbered 04. He's coming up from the Panasonic Light Series, and there's a lot of questions on whether or not he's ready. He had a solid Lights campaign last year, but it perhaps left something to be desired. He showed some promises part-time starts for Clever Haas, however.
I mean, Full Frontal's taken chances before. Dak Jovic's a prime example of that.
Yeah, Jovic's a very weird case, because Jovic worked out, but it didn't work out for Full Frontal. It worked out for when he was under Shock Allison in his amazing 2016 year. Sorry. His amazing 2016 year that got completely halted in Canada, but it was still a great year for Jovic nonetheless. But Jovic, not on the grid anymore. But we then follow it up. It is the same to the Season 3 and Season 4 champions. Max Anderson and Cordell Paulson return to their 40 and 42. No changes to those teams this year. They come back exactly how they were last year. Same scheme and all. And I think coming into this year, I do have the same expectations I had last year for this team. Although last year definitely didn't go to plan, I do still think they're huge threats on the grid.
Oh, definitely.
I feel like for a lineup this powerful, there really is only one goal for this team: to go out there and win a title. It's been a little while since they pulled that off.
Yep, with Adam Vincent back in 2016.
He wasn't even expected to take the championship.
No one expected Full Frontal to take that championship, but they come into this year, and their biggest problem is the synergy that the team is going to have with Cody Lamas. Lamas being a driver who's only driven part-time in his career in SCS, and now he moves up into one of the best teams and one of the most legendary teams on the grid full-time. And this is popping up a lot of questions.
Nobody expected the Luxembourgish Inquisition.
So, as the year goes on, we're just going to have to watch Lamas and see if he's able to live up to the expectations that William Brock is putting upon him. But we move on to the new Rank A team and the now rebranded Travis Ultra Auto Sport with the current leader here in preseason testing at Denver, William Duncan, now with Pontiac, as Roush has a mechanical issue.
That's one of the biggest stories of silly season is the return of Pontiac to motorsports. And this is the Clever Haas team from last season after a very strong campaign. New manufacturer. William Duncan's still there, but 2 new drivers alongside them, but it's a pretty stacked lineup.
And the biggest problem for this team right now is that they are alone at Pontiac. They have no satellites. They have no allies. They are alone in Pontiac. And that's going to be a bit of an issue, but it's not too big of an issue when you look at their lineup. With William Duncan, the, quote, second coming of Mr. Consistency, and last year was a little bit of a rut year, but he did come back pretty strong in the second half of the year. And
he did finally break his winless streak at Talladega, but I'm sure he's looking for some road course wins.
Yeah, he's definitely a roadie, and he's definitely wanted it, and he's showing it here. Almost 4/10 up on the entire field here in Denver. That Pontiac is looking very strong. And the only Pontiac we actually don't see near the front is the 2-time reigning PLS champion, Johan Arndt, returning to the field for his first time since the start of Season 3, which was back in 2014. So
I believe so.
So his first time back in the Elites since 2014, and Johan is definitely, he has high expectations as well, obviously coming from a 2-time PLS champion. But there is some questions out there because he is currently being seen as the weak link of the team. But it's not really surprising when you look at the people around him. But with Eric Monaco leaving the team, they needed someone to replace him, and they did hit up Johan Arndt, who was finally ready to join the ranks of Elite.
Wow, this could be a big test for the PLS. To see how good their alumni will stack up. Because Johan Arndt, definitely one of the top driver from PLS.
Oh, definitely. I think it might take him a little bit to get used to the car again, but since he hasn't been one, how long now? Like a few years.
Yeah.
It's been a while since he's been an SCS car rather than.
Yeah, he is sandwiched in the middle of an elite lineup, so there's a lot of pressure from the perform. So that 14 is probably the biggest question mark.
And the one that's not really a big question mark, it is one that's being seen as one of the biggest threats in the field. And that is 2-time championship podium and the first rank B to ever fight for a title, Alexander Rowe. Rowe is looking terrifying and right now sits 3rd here in Denver, showing his speed. Rowe is not someone you want to mess with.
Oh no, and I have some struggles with consistency over the last couple of years. He and Jason Wolf did agree to part ways, but Rowe certainly went out on a high as he had a phenomenal second half of the year.
And almost took the title away from Jackson, but because of the first half of the year, he just couldn't live up. Let's go see what happened to Eric Monaco real quick. He has front end damage. He did get hit. What happened to the driver of the 87? Oh, him and Bartlett tangled. Coming back on the front stretch, Eric tried to come back up onto the track. Didn't notice Bartlett in the way. Bartlett P6 currently. Eric down P39, and it looks like that's where his preseason testing at Denver is going to end. It is not a good first outing for the 87 crew. But we look back on, it is only a 3-car lineup for Travis Ultra Autosport, although they do have the part-time car returning this year with Vladimir Petrov and Kyle Schock Jr. as the Freeze Racing Team alliance stays alive between them. But that completes rank A, but a lot of the big names that are coming up through the field seem to be housed down in rank B, and it does start down at Scott Ganassi, a team that has John Arndt.
Yeah, but last season was not the year they wanted. Not at all.
And I think there could be a bit of added pressure with Johan up here now because unlike John, Johan's not only won a title but also has experience defending the title as well. So that might play a bit into Johan's hands because they both have similar driving styles.
But Scott Ganassi Racing coming in, obviously the number 1 seed rank B, because of John Arndt, one of 4 people to get 3 race wins in 1 year. 3 race wins in 1 year. And
John is definitely that team's ace, but he went winless last season, as did the entire team. But Arndt was carrying Scott Ganassi last season.
Yep, finished, if I'm correct, P8 in the points. And although it was a winless year, it was still a great year for the driver of the 05.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looking for more next season, though. Like this season, he wants to get back to victory lane because John Arndt definitely one of those guys you expect to fight for wins every week.
It
was weird to see him go winless.
Yep. And next, the Disruptor. Last season's Royale champion, this is Roger Ray. Ray, even though he won the Royale, it was honestly a pretty disappointing season from the 08 car last year. Was able to keep himself within owner's points, though, so he will be locked in for the first 5 races of the year, but expectations aren't incredibly high.
I would say it's Ray definitely has potential, but it's a make it or break it year. Because Scott Ganassi, I think they had higher expectations for Ray, and he certainly showed potential, especially in the later part of the season. But he needs to follow up on that.
Yeah, he needs to show the pace that he showed down in his PLS year. Back when Sabasport moved down, Ray exploded down PLS, but ever since he moved back up, everything's been kind of slow. But then
perhaps it was just a year to get acclimated to the cars again. We could see some bigger things from him this season.
We could.
I mean, you saw in the later part of the year, it feels like he got really used to the car by then.
Yeah, that's why I was getting it earlier.
Yeah.
But then we have the only change to the team this year after Dak Jovic retired. They need someone else to take his place, and that is Dan Bartlett. For his first time at a Trailblazer, now driving for Scott Ganassi Racing. His first drive in rank B. And he is one of the best road course drivers on the grid, showing it now P6 on track right now. And expectations are high for Bartlett.
Expectations are for him to win. Definitely. Everybody's saying this is going to be his year.
Everyone says this is the year that this will be Bartlett's breakout year, and I could see it. Benoit definitely cared for him down at Trailblazer and was able to get him some good results. But now it's Bartlett's turn to take control of his career up at Scott Ganassi, a team that has high expectations as is, and now taking in one of the people who have been one of the highest potential drivers over the last few years. It's looking good for the 86 crew.
I think so too. This is definitely a year for the former Nick Pericles team, I believe that is, to really shine and go back to the top.
Well, this is Dak Jovic's team.
Nick Pericles is still here.
Yes,
I get it. I know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I realized that the moment I started talking.
But yeah, Nick Pericles. Pericles is one that's been in a very big rut over the last few years. He finished 5th in points 2 years in a row back in 2014 and 2015. But ever since then, it's been slow.
Some people may have suggested his best years are behind him, but I'm sure Pericles is wanting to prove the doubters wrong.
I very much disagree with that. Pericles has always had a lot of potential. He's been in a rut, but I do think that the revival of Nick Pericles is coming. It's just whether it's going to be this year is an unknown.
Either that or he needs new surroundings is another possibility.
I would say this is the big year. Like, this is
it is
time. If he has another bad season, well, I don't know what will happen beyond then. It's like he needs to get back on form.
Yep. But we then look at the second seed team, the team I really don't want to talk about. Thunder Sport Racing Australia. Now the Honda Satellite. And one of two Honda Satellite teams. And
with a very interesting, maybe a bit of a risky lineup. Probably the team of one of the biggest question marks as a unit. But there is consistency in one of their cars. That Lorenzo Log in the 51, always a familiar face on the grid.
Yep, been around since season 1, 3-time winner in the series, but he hasn't won since season 2, and there is rumors around that this could be his last year. But he's driving for Thundersport Racing Australia. He's driven for this equipment for the last few years, back when he was in the number 14, back when this team was Epic Motorsports. He drove for this team, and he's sticking strong with it.
Yeah. Thundersport and Honda, they wanted an experienced driver to mentor their two new young drivers, and Alog certainly fit the bill.
Speaking of those two young drivers, we got the first of the two, Daniel Bouchard, the former Monaco Dynasty Racing number 3 car driver, now driving in a Rank B car. It's a move not many people expected, but Bouchard has potential. He showed it a lot during his drives in that 3 car.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not one that people would expect until you really looked at what he did.
And now part of the Honda development program. If he performs this year, this could be his career really skyrocketing, but this is a very big turning point for him.
Yeah, the Honda driver program, there's going to be a lot of pressure in the Honda driver pipeline, especially with Jack Benyako and Sebastian Morandi down in PLS.
Yep. In their part-time rides down in the Honda satellite teams.
Yeah, if Bouchard were to struggle, it's possible one of those guys might take his place.
Yeah.
So he needs to meet expectations.
Bouchard is definitely not the biggest question mark at the team. In fact,
the biggest question mark... It'll be weird also to see him try to adjust to the different alliance as a whole.
Yeah, that's true. He was part of the Ford Alliance previously. Now he's swapped over to Honda.
Yeah, and there's a big difference between the two. I feel like the Ford Alliance is a lot more of a data alliance than the Honda one is.
But then we look at the true question mark on the team. The last season's dead last in points, Connor Monaco.
While that points position sounds bad, Honda, they saw what during those times when he was able to make races, Honda saw something in him. He certainly has potential. It's possible he may have been moved up too soon.
I will say that I think out of all the drivers in the field, Connor Monaco does have the second lowest expectations in my mind, which everyone knows the one with the lowest expectations, but we'll talk about him later. But
yeah, low expectations, but high potential.
He could blast everyone's expectations out of the water and show his true strength, but 31st in the session. Yeah, he is a Monaco after all. The Monacos have been known to surprise and shake things up.
Yeah, Honda believed in him. They're going to put their faith in him for this season. we'll have to see if he can. We'll see if that faith was well placed.
But as mentioned before, part-time driver is the number 55. Jack Benyako returns down to PLS this year. Did not have an amazing year in the 21 for Red Stallion, and it just didn't work out.
Yep, but he is still part of Honda, and it's expected that he'll probably be moving back up in the future.
But then we have, I'm so excited to talk about this team. Trailblazer Motorsports, for their first time out of rank C, they have moved up into rank B. They have test schemes here today because obviously their schemes did not get done in time. They were too focused on their development program to really worry about their schemes, and they're just going to be running these black schemes here in testing.
I think they are. I think they are still in the development phase of their liveries.
But the number 7 car is not Benoit Ravine this year. Benoit Ravine decided to go back to Europe to go race there, and instead it's Wolfstein von Schaefer, another very, very experienced road course guy, taking the 7 car.
Basically, German Benoit Ravine.
Wolfstein's been pegged as Ravine's like protege, and he's done pretty well in lights.
2 years in a row, he did pretty well. He fought for the title back in season 1 of the PLS, and right now he's looking pretty strong. He's looking to be one of the highest expectation, if not the highest expectations for a rookie this year out of the 8.
Yeah, some have actually expected that he could actually be one of the favorites for Rookie of the Year, or at least a dark horse.
Definitely. I wouldn't say that he's a dark horse for the championship. In fact, I would say the dark horse for the championship is his teammate. That being the driver of the 78, returning back, Sean Angel. Oh boy, are there expectations for this driver. Back when he was in the 57, he did so well for this team back when he drove for them back in 2014, I want to say, 2014, 2015. And now he's back at the team after having a little bit of rides elsewhere. Yeah, he went to Clever Ross Racing for a year, won the Royale, got 2 wins that year if you count the Royale as a win, and then went to Red Stallion where he had probably, I would say, a bad year. That was not a good year for Angel.
That was definitely a bad year.
That was pretty abysmal. But he's back under Trailblazer in ranked B, looking very strong, very high potential, and is being played as one of the dark horses for the championship. But they're back with BMW because the Type Un is never going to get finished, let's be honest.
Happy holidays.
Indeed. But we do not really have time to cover another team, so we'll get to Shock Allison when we move over to the next track. But if we look over the times, I see a PJ Karenko in second.
That is unexpected.
He is out of pit lane right now. He just exited pit lane, did an outlap. But PJ Karenko apparently showing a lot of speed right now. Being surrounded by 2 Pontiacs, though. Pontiac seems to be having a field day here in Denver. But you can take a look at some of the other schemes. I don't even want to talk about you yet. Bowers, now the team leader for Fitzwater Australia Racing. A complete rebrand to Red Stallion. Stuff like that, but we will get into all those teams later. We look through the board. Who's down near the bottom? DJ Curtis is at the bottom of the board. Not doing too well. But the session is finishing up. Paul's not doing that good, but it looks like by almost 0.4 of a second, William Duncan showing his stuff here in preseason testing.
He might be fast here. Question is, will he miss the pit lane again?
Oh. And yep, that does conclude practice. I will export that for later use. Just for later reference that I'm going to use for when I post stuff about it in conference room. But that is it for preseason testing here in Denver. That is our first of 4 locations. If you're a driver on the grid and you want to see where you placed, here you go. Look down through the grid. CL Van Aller looking very good. He's one of the rookies. We'll talk about him a little bit later, but he's looking pretty impressive. But some of the people near the bottom possibly sandbagging for information. People like Cordell Paulson, Roger
Skylar
Ray,
Johnson,
Skylar Johnson,
John Arndt.
John Arndt. I think they're probably sandbagging just to get some information on their cars. But the Pontiacs, however, are not sandbagging, and they're using what force they got to make a presence. And William Duncan will top the boards here in Denver. Congratulations to him as we end preseason testing in Denver, and we will move on over to the new finale track, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Oh no.
Honestly, I am looking forward to this as a finale. Personally, from my own personal opinion, my issues with La Colina as a finale track was that, well, if you start in the back, you couldn't really get to the front, like within like enough time. It's certainly easier to pass it on some road courses, but it is still a road course. Vegas, if you have a good car, you can go from the back to the front very quickly.
There's 2 Fallout cars. They're going to be the first 2 out of pit lane. Oh, no.
Just,
It's actually Sylvan Aller out.
Just hopefully no one gets yeeted into the catch fence.
Oh, someone's going to probably die in this session. Don't worry about it, guys. But we get back on talking about teams, because the next team up and the last team for rank B, Shock Allison Racing, the team that almost missed the rank B mark. They're coming into this year retaining Ryan Griffin, which was one of the decisions that was actually a little controversial. Not a lot of people expected Ryan Griffin to come back after a very disappointing year in the 6 car.
There was some speculation that Honda was looking to put Alexander Rowe in that 6 car, but ultimately they decided to go for Griffin. Shock Allison definitely has faith in him for this season. Maybe it was just a rookie slump.
It might have been. Griffin has had a lot of drives in the past. Out of last year, he was the most experienced rookie in that field. His first appearance came all the way back in 2016? Maybe even 2015 was when Ryan Griffin first appeared. It was during one of Shepard's injuries. And now it's his sophomore year, so we'll see what happens with the 6 car. But then we have
the big one.
The big one. Alex Benyako transferring the only rank D last year to gain owner's points. And he moved up Shock Allison Racing in the 17 car, and it's that number. The 17 returns to racing for its first time since 2013. And Alex Benyako has got to be feeling the pressure because he's bearing that number of James Constantin.
And everyone thinks he's going to do big things with that car, and I mean, yeah, he did a lot in his rookie campaign. He almost beat Ryan Griffin for Rookie of the Year in that rank D equipment.
Yeah, he was almost Rookie of the Year, which is incredible to think about. They are going so fast, it's a little scary. Horsepower, baby. But then it's the expected one, the one everyone knew would be here this year. Skyla Johnson, the first ever female winner in SES history. Well, female winner of a points race event, because obviously Audra Baranowska's is a Royale champion, which Audra in the field this year, part-time. But we'll talk about her in a little bit. Skyla Johnson, expectations still high. They've always been high for her. And yeah, there isn't really much else to say. She's always been a very solid driver. Actually fought for the points lead in the first few races of the year last year. And now she's coming into this year, into 2018, under the Honda program.
Yeah, with the manufacturer support from Honda, Shock Allison could do big things. But I feel like a big question for this team, at least for that 99, is consistency, because that was Johnson's downfall last season. Was a lack of consistency.
Yep. And then their part-time car, the number 26 car, Tristan Wilhoit, coming from Nexus down in Lights, getting his chance to shine in Elites. And Wilhoit, he showed a ton of potential last year.
Yeah. Top 5 points finish. I believe he was 5th in points. Got a win at Calder Park. And, well, he's not actually a part of the Honda program. This was a Shock Allison hire, and a Shock Allison hire alone. However, Honda is, of course, evaluating his performance. If he performs well, he'll definitely be let into the program.
Definitely. And out of part-time drivers, I gotta say he's one of the highest expectations, if not the highest expectations for a part-time driver. But that completes rank B. The front 2 ranks are looking very strong going into the season, but we're back with 4-4. We had a little bit of a break from the 4-4 back in 2017, and now we're back. So the fight at the front of the field is going to be heated, and we could see another rank B champion. But as we move on to rank C, one of the most legendary teams in FCS history, if I'm correct, the only team to get 2 drivers' championships, has fallen a lot. But they are still here. Fitzwater Australia Racing, being led by the road course legend himself. The road course legend, Carson Bowers. And what do I say about him? Bowers, 1 of 4 with 7 or more wins as well, with Philip Scott, as we talked about him earlier, along with Brock and Anderson. Bowers, arguably one of the best drivers in the field, especially on a road course.
Who went through a nasty slump last season.
You know, until Hockenheim came around and that craziness happened.
There's still some questions over their legality.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bowers had a major slump season. Finished, I believe he was outside the top 30 in points, wasn't he?
Yep. Bowers is chartered though this year. Was Bowers in it? No. No, Bowers is taking Freeze's owner's points from last year. Fitzwater still holds a lot of confidence in him, and it's understandable because of his career. And I still expect big things out of the 39.
Yeah, within all the changes to this team, it's a good thing that Fitzwater Australia kept arguably the best unit of that operation intact. Just no changes with these guys.
Nope. But then we have the big changes around. For the first time since 2013, PJ Karenko returns to Fitzwater Australia Racing. He formerly drove the 9 car. Duncan's back on top. Oh my god. Slow down, fam. PJ Karenko back to Fitzwater Australia Racing. He did not have a bad career back when he was in the 9 car. It's just when the max cars was reduced from 4 to 3 back in 2014, they had to cut someone, and they weren't going to cut Anderson or Bowers. Karenko was just sadly the one to go. But after going to Trailblazer and then having a 2-year hiatus, disappearing, he came back for Fallout, performed pretty decently. Lamas almost just died, and now he's under Fitzwater Australia Racing. And
oh, there it is.
Oh, okay.
And now Karenko, he's another question mark in the field, whether he's going to perform or whether he's just going to flop. But Fitzwater has some expectations with him.
It is a reunion between Karenko and his old team owner.
Yep.
What will bring?
Speaking of his team owner, Fitzwater, gone this year. His bowel health issue got too much, and Zachary Fitzwater, senior year season 2 champion, is not in the field this year. He is up on the box leading the team, but his replacement is his successor, what has been deemed his successor, Jay Durrell, now in the 43 Wilson security scheme.
Hype for Durrell was through the roof as early as 2016, I believe it was, when he went out as a part-time driver and won the team's home race at Calder Park.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. No one was expecting it. Durrell, though, his lights campaigns have been good too. Although he didn't have an amazing year last year, it was because he was in Gatlin Downey Incorporated equipment, which was rank C.
He certainly had.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's had respectable performances in PLS at least.
Yeah, and Petrov was just on a mission last season, and that's why he kind of outshone him, because Petrov was coming back from an injury. And it's kind of hard to hold back and it's kind of hard to beat a teammate hellbent on a.
And that is Bowers.
On doing
well. Carson Bowers.
We got a wreck.
Oh, we do.
It looks
Something happened.
Did I finally dump Llamas?
Oh,
it's Bowers.
That's your leader. Oh, that is your current leader, William Brock, getting tangled up in that, along with Carson Bowers.
And that's a big speed difference right there.
And Brock, that was almost an unsafe re-entry to the track, but he's good. But the big thing I was focusing on was the fact that, Roush was coming around and was side by side with Karenko and had nowhere to go. Roush had to take that hit, and Roush now up in smoke.
Fucking Karenko.
But and they will return with the number 9 with Sean Ard. Ard back in the 9 car part-time this year. It's his second year part-time.
This time running a full part-time campaign.
Yep, we'll not be sharing it with Jay Durrell because Jay Durrell is full-time now. But then we move on to Monarch Motorsports, the only ranked C team to have 4 cars, fully ranked C or D team to have 4 cars.
And a lot of questions. 2 drivers being given second chances in their careers. One prospect that's waiting to bloom, and another that have high expectations for, but is very inconsistent. A lot of questions up in the air. This team could either thrive or implode.
And it all starts with this driver, the former driver of Roush Racing Enterprises, who could be considered a bust last year, Vince Freeze. But
28-3.
Yeah, his 2017 year was not good.
Did not.
The fan favorite is just
one of the most popular drivers in the Elite Series, searching for some better results.
Yeah.
I mean, he's shown with Hood Huddleston that he can perform. It's just that it's not on a consistent basis.
It's perhaps expected that he may have been rushed up to rank A equipment.
It probably was.
But in his third year in the Elite Series, could he perhaps get back on form? Finally break out.
Could finally get himself into the form that he's expected to have. And I would say out of the 4 on the team, he probably has the lowest expectations put onto him. He's just a favorite throughout the garage due to his very big personality, but he's just not shown as one of the best drivers on track. We then go to their rookie this year because William Carlson Jr. has stepped down from the team to go on the box, and that puts Shane Vincent in the 28 car. Former Ditech driver, former teammate to 2-time champion Johan Arndt, and he is now taking the reins of the 28.
No, I've heard that he was frustrated about being beaten so hard by a Johan Arndt, but let's be honest here. Johan beat everyone pretty.
Yeah, Shane Vincent, a fiery personality, bit of a loudmouth off the track, and maybe a little bit over the radio, but certainly has some talent. needs to get his consistency problem sorted because that was his issue and that was his downfall in PLS. But Roush Racing Enterprises gave him a shot last season. He ran part-time and actually ran very well, and he's now finding himself now has a full-time role within the Ford Alliance.
His biggest problem last year, and what could come back to be his biggest problem this year, is his level of aggression. He is very aggressive, and it showed in La Colina where he screwed himself out of a ticket into the finale.
And Connors. Maybe would have been last in points. I still insist Connor Monaco would have not been last in points if that didn't happen.
Probably not. And Shane,
He's more aggressive than the Belarusian driver in PLS, and he's known for his aggression.
I would say that the only other driver in the Elite Series who is more aggressive than Shane Vincent is probably Aiden Shepard. But it's a hard match there. You can't really.
I would say his biggest issue is, can he keep his aggression in check? Does he know when to hold back and when to use it, like of Shepard?
Yeah. And it's gonna be hard. It's his rookie year. Expectations? I don't even know the expectations for him. They're all over the place. He could completely break out or he could completely bust. There's no real expectations for the driver of the 28.
I will say that at least he's gotten some experience.
That is true. He does have experience driving in the Ford Alliance too. He has experience in a Ford. So
yeah,
he'll be able to use that experience in a Monarch equipment. So we'll see. Maybe it'll work out. Then
that crew certainly has some good strategies. If last year is anything to go by, but yeah, next guy.
Then we have one of the people that a lot of people didn't expect to come back to this team, but I fully expected to come back, and that is Hans Windhelm. The only reason he wasn't seen to come back was his bit of stupidity back in Nashville last year, which pretty much ended Fitzwater's career. And Windhelm, even though that happened, I wouldn't say, it wasn't intentional, obviously. It was just him being dumb.
It was a bad merge that he kind of just faded on.
I still think, in my opinion, that Hans Windhelm is one of the best drivers in the field.
Oh, he is, without a doubt. I just think he got screwed over because of one little mistake.
Yeah, one mistake he made, and the entire fan base turned on him. His fan base is very low right now, but he is still arguably one of the quickest drivers in the field, and it showed back when he was on Epic Motorsports, back when he was on this team. And where did he finish that year? Didn't he finish 11th or 12th that year in points?
I believe so.
An absolutely incredible year. He almost finished top 5 in points in a rank C, which is unheard of. Expectations are through the roof for the 58 in my eyes, but in the eyes of the field and the eyes of the fans, they are not that high.
So Windhelm's biggest goal this season would probably be to regain the trust of the fans.
Just don't kill someone.
I can only assume they have a new spotter in the boxes here.
Yeah. And finally, DJ Curtis. He is a very high potential driver. It's just he hasn't done anything with it yet. He's been very mundane.
So he has potential, but it's not been utilized.
But he is one of 2 of the drivers on the team, along with Hans Windhelm, to have owners points. So he is locked in for the first 5 races of the year. Can he use that to actually do something?
I feel like this is make it or break it, because this is his 3rd year with the team.
Yep.
I feel like that's a pretty sizable stint without any results. So the results have to come in this year, or it could be his last of Monarch.
It could. Curtis, definitely very shaky. His ride is in jeopardy. He's got to prove everyone wrong. We'll see. And then we move on to what is, quote, the bottom of the barrel, but is
Rank
still
D.
It's still being led by Red Stallion, but Red Stallion has gone through a rebrand this year. No new name, but completely new numbers. And it starts with their team leader, Julio Cesar.
Not to mention brand new manufacturer. Toyota left the sport following the 2017 season, so they scrambled to find a new manufacturer.
And BMW, they are with Trailblazer, with BMW, and Julio Cesar leading that team with the only thing that stays consistent with this team, Reebok. Reebok returns to the team this year of the former number 22 car sponsor, now with Julio Cesar, and this car has owner's points.
Yeah, Reebok, a very loyal sponsor, but Julio Cesar, he's going to need to utilize those owner's points, and he's probably another driver with some doubters. He struggled he got an opportunity in the 35 car last season. Well, at first he was in the 43 after things fell through with the previous driver of that car who didn't get to make a start. But Cesar hopped in, did a solid job, and then he replaced Vince Freeze in the 35, and arguably was a major disappointment.
Yeah, but he can thank Alex Benyako a lot, because he's gonna start the year with an advantage over all the other ranked D teams, and that is that he is not going to have to fight through any heats through the first 5 races of the year, but he's got to utilize it and keep himself in the top 30.
Yeah, or else he may go back in the basement. It is a prove it year for Julio Cesar. That's for sure. I mean, you're driving for rank D, and Red Stallion, this is a team that has both jump started and killed careers.
Yep. But third time's the charm. We can finally welcome him, Ciel van Aller, the 41-year-old
from the Netherlands.
The Netherlands driver has been trying to get into this series for years, and he finally made it.
Yep. First time the team he was driving for died, like they went bankrupt. Second time, the team he was driving for moved down to PLS, and he went with them.
Stayed there for like another year.
Actually, Money Motorsports got a lawsuit, which we don't know the specific details of it, but Money Motorsports
they lost it.
They lost the lawsuit, and the current theory is that Brock sent that lawsuit because the team owner Rob Mooney. But Ciel van Aller now at Red Stallion in that Sprint number 06 car. He's old. I'm not sure how much time he has in his career.
I think he's honestly.
Point is that he made it. And
honestly, I think Van Aller is just happy to be here.
Yeah. He's a face that everyone in this paddock knows. It's just he has never gotten the chance, and now it's his turn.
And I mean,
he's done well in PLS he's a great qualifier.
And it's like he's a solid road ringer. Like, despite his age, I would not count him out. He could be a dark horse on the road courses to maybe get some solid results.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely a road ringer. So we're just gonna have to see what can Ciel van Aller do. But the other driver at the team is the one with the much higher expectations. Last year, second in points, Morgan Fuller, as she moved up with her championship rival Johan Arndt into elites, now with Intel in the Red Stallion number 70 car.
Her teammate Baranowska, by the way, did not move up.
Yep.
I'm just
Audrey Baranowska's is still down PLS, but is part-time this year up with Bavarian, but we'll talk about that soon. Morgan Fuller, not coming out on track. Expectations are high. She really wants to compete with Johan Arndt, but with the equipment difference of rank A to rank D, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, Morgan Fuller, she fought for a title in PLS. She had a breakout season last year. And there was actually some question as to who was going to be in this car for a while. A lot of speculation as to what Red Stallion's driver lineup was going to be for most of the offseason. Fuller was definitely a good pick.
It was a great pick for this team. They chose very well with the drivers that they did choose. And very high expectations for the 70 car. And it's understandable expectations. Completely understandable. She is very quick.
Had she not been turned on the last lap by someone who got banned from the league, I think, she could have very well won that won the championship because Arndt got turned just
Yeah.
after.
But Morgan Fuller, we'll see how our rookie year can go. We then move on to the second to last seed on the grid, Monaco Dynasty Racing, being led. I'm not sure who the leader of that team is. I believe the leader of that team is Jack Halleck.
It has to be.
Jack Halleck in that cat number 31
Yeah,
left Thundersport.
I think what definitely the bigger surprise this silly season was Monaco Dynasty expanding the free cars despite having a bit of a shaky first year. It could cause a lot of problems. But who knows, maybe it'll work. They do have a lot of experience within their driver lineup, Jack Halleck being one of those, and I mean Halleck certainly knows how to win races.
Pause. That is Bobo Jones on the top.
Wait, what?
We'll talk about that. He's coming up soon. We'll talk about him soon. Jack Halleck, yeah, expectations are through the roof for him. It's always been through the roof ever since he came in. He's been one of the biggest sensations in the field, and it just keeps going. The hype train keeps going for Jack Halleck, and now driving for Monaco Dynasty. So we'll see how it goes.
When I say he has a cult following.
Oh, yeah.
2017 was a bit of an off year for Halleck, but he did still pull a win in rather controversial fashion in Japan. But hey, a win's a win. He is one of the winningest drivers in the Elite Series.
Yep. We then look. Oh, how far you've fallen. Gerard Iran. What do I even say?
I don't understand how he fell that far.
He has no wins to his career, although being in every single season, and it's just been disappointing.
He had a good season last year, but Honda ultimately decided to go with Lorenzo Log. They thought a Log would be better for the team long term,
And
that ended up forcing Iran to go in the free agency, and he ended up here.
yeah, and Gerard, I mean, there's still some people behind him saying he's going to get that win this year, but there's only one other person who has ever gotten a win in a rank D, and that's Gatlin Downey. So, Gerard, if he would get that win, it would be monumental.
Yeah.
Here.
And
Aren't pulled into pits. Okay.
It's a prove it deal for this team. I do wonder, they have a couple very experienced drivers. If things go their way, they could potentially be a contender for C tier. That is, if the driver of the number 5 doesn't have anything to say about it.
The driver who has, by a country mile, the lowest expectations in the field. I can't believe he was even allowed.
The guy
Max
who I don't
Jackson.
even... How did he get a Class A license?
I don't know.
During the off season, he has been training with his brother.
There he is.
Paul,
Max Jackson.
The Jackson family are polar opposites. You got a champion, a 4-time championship podium driver, and then a driver who got his license taken away in PLS in his first year. And
Nexus Motorsports isn't even on speaking terms with him.
But Max,
that was because he took out Roger Ray and cost him the championship effectively.
During off-season and during last year, when he was absent, he was training with his brother. He had been training a lot with his brother, Paul Jackson, and he is pretty much his apprentice, trying to train him in the ways that Paul Jackson knows. And although Max Jackson is by far a bust, Paul Jackson, the training could help him bloom.
It must have helped him enough to get signed. There must have been
joined.
Dude must have shown something behind the scenes.
And Max Jackson, it could happen. We could see him explode and do better than Halleck. Who knows? But
there is zero expectations. This 5 is a wild card.
It is. And then it's Fallout Racing, the final seed.
The team that was beating Monaco Dynasty for most of the season, and then they imploded. the back half.
Yep, and Connor Hurley leads the team. Hurley never stepped out of a ranked D car, but he's still here. He's still got his ride, and he's just hanging out with his former teammate on track.
And while Hurley is definitely a rather understated name, not definitely not someone people talk about much. He actually had a very strong season for his equipment last year.
Yep, and he had a very good showing. And this year, expectations are pretty good. Just because he's down in the quote worst team on the grid, doesn't mean his expectations are low. Connor Hurley and his teammate both have high expectations. And Hurley, we could see him do very well this year. Along with his teammate, currently third on the board right now, rookie Bobo Jones. Currently the last seed on the grid. And
seriously, sometimes you look at things and wonder how they got there.
yeah, he must have caught a really good draft with someone, man.
Bobo Jones is an interesting story. He signed on with Trailblazer Motorsports to run part-time with them and test out the Typhoon, and he showed up to the Royale in a number 0 BMW. The car was not ready, and we don't know if it will be this year either. But he, if I remember, he won his heat race.
He won his heat race, and then he did pretty good in the Royale. Like, he impressed a lot of people.
The hype was through the roof. There was a little bit of a controversy later down the line when they were still trying to get the car ready, and they didn't. He wasn't able to. He missed some races he was scheduled for. He eventually did finally step in and get some runs in the 0 car, and it did not go to plan.
But in my opinion, you could put that down to the fact that they were unprepared and was using the 0 car that they used for the Royale. It was a used car that they put him in, and it could be understandable why he didn't drive that good.
He did show some promise in PLS, kind of faded in the later parts of the season, but he was looking like a championship dark horse for the first half.
He definitely was, as the session has finished up, and Ryan Griffin tops the boards in Vegas.
I have joined.
Hello, Shepard.
Ooh.
And
I'm
Griffin.
turning after.
Yeah,
Griffin looking good.
Yeah, Bobo Jones, he has potential, but there's some question marks. Like one of the many wild cards on the grid.
I do agree that Bobo was screwed in many other ways than he should have been in.
Yeah,
even in
Aiden.
races, even in in races, even in the races, all of the incidents were not of his doing, and the contact. He almost won La Colina, but honestly, that was probably an incident of his doing. But that was the only one. He wrecked out of everyone, most out of his control. So he was just a terrible luck throughout the entire season.
Which could definitely be put down to the Trailblazer team owner, Aiden.
So let's fly over to our next track. Why don't we?
Well, if we look through the grid here, we look through our second has concluded.
Why don't
Duncan, another very strong showing at a Duncan, Rowe, and Karenko back in the top 10. We're seeing a pattern here of a few people who keep showing themselves up, and somehow it's just gonna be Karenko. I don't understand how he's doing this good, but if he found something in that car that can make him run well, good on him. Look through the bottom of the grid. Halleck once again near the bottom. Is that 31 team sandbagging?
Or are they actually having any problems?
Maybe trying to get used to the car, because Halleck's been in, for his entire Sunoco Elite Series career, and so has every other driver, just been in. This is something completely different. These cars are way faster, and
they're
way outperforming. Even
Ray
I'd like to
Halls.
raise a question later. about these cars.
Obviously, some of these teams not going to be performing amazingly well in some pre-season testing sessions because some may be sandbagging to test their equipment on track, because this is the very first chance that they truly get to see how they stack up against each other. So using that to get as much information as possible is great for them. So some of these teams may not be near the top if you expect them to be, but that may just be because they are just gaining information. But so Ryan Griffin tops the boards in Las Vegas, and this finishes up the American preseason testing rounds. We got 2 more to go, and we got that saved already. As we head over to one of the most technical circuits, Buribamba, aka Autodrome Naho Huapi, and oh boy indeed. I do need to do something to the eye because getting a little out of character here. I did some editing to Booty Bomba earlier, and I need to change it a little because I remember I put the drafting distance too low in my last test. So there we go. So probably one of the, if not the most technical track on the circuit. It's got sweeping corners, it's got a chicane, it's got a hairpin, it's got carousels. It is so technical, and now it's going to be the place where they truly get to show how well they are at road courses in Argentina.
Before we move on to a topic, I'd like to start one.
What would
It is
that be?
about the cars. This does raise the morbid question, because these cars are so different and a lot faster than they used to be. Do you think there will be safety concerns? Do you think it's been a controversy around the world after hearing the news, but will these cars be a safety hazard more than they were? Because Sunoco Elite Series cars have always been safe, but these cars are way faster than they were last season.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
It's certainly a question.
There's definitely been a lot of concerns, a lot of news articles talking about the safety concerns about these cars, but I do believe these cars are safe. The big injury we had last season, being Zachary Fitzwater Sr., wasn't really a concern of the car's speed, was more of a concern of Windhelm's spotter being an idiot.
And also, I mean, you might want to get that. I'm hoping the track owners get that safer barrier checked in 3 and 4, because that played a big role.
Oh, is he already down?
There was yeah, there was a safer.
Okay, out of character here. No. Out of character here. What the fuck just happened? What the?
What?
Someone spawned in him! Whoa.
Oh no.
Max! What? Griffin!
Oh.
I see Max Griffin. I see
Max is gonna lose his license again. Not again.
I see that Max Jackson still.
Just build up.
I see it. Max Jackson is still driving
My man
erratically.
turned into a monster truck.
That
Why
is
are the
still-
stalls on the same coordinate? Hold up, fixing this just really quickly, and we'll restart.
Just sit tight.
I don't know why 2 stalls were in the same location. But yeah, I was about to say, did they wreck already? No, they didn't. No, they just spawned inside of each other and died.
They become inflatable.
They merged. It was
They
it was a
decided to
Dragon
make
Ball Z
little
fusion. Oh boy, here comes the road course legend.
Digifuse.
Okay,
Arguably,
back to character. Let's continue the conversation.
yeah.
Right.
Let's continue as back to your regular
Nothing
schedule
happened.
program.
I don't think we can come back.
But Carson Bowers, arguably one of the, if not the best road course driver in the field. His career's been really good around road courses. And now he's back at a road course, so we'll see what he could do around here.
Well, William Duncan might be able to rival him.
Yeah.
Potentially. It's just,
Legally.
wins. That's
Yeah.
a problem.
It's getting wins that's the problem. Although he is one of the really consistent drivers in the field, he has problems winning. It is the same problem that Paul Jackson has had in his career. And hey,
He's,
look, freeze loaded
little...
without being inside of Caesar.
Yeah, I guess Duncan's just a little too nice. He tends to brace drivers with like respect. He doesn't like bumping people out of the way, and perhaps that sometimes is a downfall.
Yeah.
Because nice guys don't finish last, but they do finish second. A lot.
Yeah. Get more aggressive, Duncan.
As shown through the world. You gotta be mean to win races.
Ray Hall, please don't kill Thaber.
Oh my god.
I would really appreciate that, Thaber. Or Ray Hall. We really
very
don't want to see him die.
I see that that Honda's already trying to take out the competition.
But we've already talked about the whole field all the way through. We could talk about some other changes, and I did hold off on this. Because Duncan, you know what I'm talking about. I held off on this announcement until preseason testing, so you can hear about it first here. Single car qualifying for Pensacola is gone.
Yeehaw.
It takes
all
3
about-
hours to record. It is painful. I hate doing it, and I'm not doing it.
Which
We will be moving over to the NASCAR dual type qualifying system.
What's a NASCAR?
What is a NASCAR? Yeah. This newfangled system, called the dual system. I don't know who came up with it.
It's something like national Abe I forgot.
Marcus Duncan.
It's fine.
I don't know, but
So anyway, how does it work?
Thanks for our executive Brian France for the idea, or one of our staff.
Yeah, speaking, just actually talking, but yeah, for those of you who may not know how the dual system works exactly, we will run the qualifying session as normal. We will take the top 2. They will be locked as the front row starters. Everyone else will be divided into 2 duels. If you're in owner's points, you don't need to worry about being knocked out, but in these duels, if you do not have owner's points, that will be the heat in which you will be fighting to get in.
Yep. Qualifying and the heats are basically all packed into one.
Yep, and everyone will fight. First in Heat 1 being 3rd, first in Heat 2 being 4th, second is 5th, and so on and so forth, until we reach the bottom of the grid. And whoever's in owner's points, if you do not qualify in the correct positions, you will be knocked out and will not participate in Pensacola. So, that is the new system coming into play this year. That will make Pensacola a lot easier on me.
And a lot more interesting.
Thank you, Brian.
Hey, Nick Pericles tops the board with a 1:54.2. Everyone's still trying to complete their first full flying lap, though.
I'd say probably still some more driver stuff worth talking about because, yeah, some of the part-time teams, obviously haven't shown up today.
Yeah, we have a
Weren't invited, but
a little bit of a system,
beside-
new system now, and that is PLS teams. Some of them have been invited up to run part-time operations up in Elites, but part-times do not show up at preseason testing, so they are not here.
Yeah, it's a much anticipated change, though.
Yep, Bavarian, the old Jägermeister, is just now Bavarian, and they have brought up Audra Baranowska's in the 45 car, because we did forget the 35 was Thaber, but don't mind that. In the 45 car, Audra will be taking the reins back in Elites for her first time in a few years.
She could be one of the favorites. She could be one of the favorites for the PT Cup because, Yeah, she has experience. She's a former Royale champion. I
Yep.
mean, she could do something.
And she has no teammates to take out. So
Win-win.
So
Though, to be
yeah.
fair, synergy of Morgan Fuller was actually pretty alright.
Yeah. But then it is Ditech who has denied twice now coming up full-time in Elites, but they did accept a part-time operation with the 29 of Milorad Ryback. Will be
Who's
showing up.
who's been one of the biggest stories in the PLS this last year or so.
Whoa!
Ryback came out of nowhere.
He did.
Wow, one of the BMWs went super wide across
And
the
Van Aller just gets
elevation.
it off the road.
Yep, he did. But yeah, Ryback, what is being played as one of the biggest high potential guys coming up.
Yeah, so he came out of nowhere, joined a brand new team in Shane Auto, and I mean, he turned heads. He shocked the world.
He was a steamroller.
And
both
now
of the
he's-
both of the former Flying Aces drivers really turned heads.
Yeah, and now he finds himself with Ditech and PLS, and he'll be making his Elite Series debut. You know,
Yep.
assuming his part-time campaign doesn't go catastrophically wrong in the heats.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't Conor Monaco it. But we do have the final team being... why am I forgetting it?
Down.
Oh, Gatlin Downey Incorporated.
Gatlin Downey Incorporated.
The number
GDI.
77 should be obvious. Gatlin Downey. Yep, you thought he was gone. The Rank D two-time winner is back in a Rank D. He's going to do it again. I swear to God, if he does it a third time, oh my God. But he is back in the field this year. He'll run his part-time operation, but that is pretty much everyone in the field because we already talked about the other part-time drivers as we went through the field. So that is your full 2018 field here. We're coming up to 20 minutes left in the session. We can actually just start talking about what's going to happen throughout the year because I think it could go down.
I'd suggest what we think
right.
could be championship threats, and why.
Well,
feel
we
like
got to
that's
start with the fan-voted title threat. The title favorite,
Of course.
the reigning champion, of course, Paul Jackson. He's gotten, 4 championship podiums to his name in 6 years. That is unheard of by anyone else in the field, because the next one down is, I know Rowe has 2. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
Jackson is one of the most consistent race car drivers I'd say in the world right now. That is insane, his record.
He's a global superstar right now, and driver of the 10 car is just back, and he's fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, Jackson's finally a champion. Maverick's finally a champion. Motivation higher than ever at that team.
It really is. But with the tough competition all around them, they're really gonna have to fight for it. I'm surprised no one's died yet, to be perfectly honest. Yay, no one's dead.
I'd also suggest some of his teammates. Philip Scott, literally nicknamed the Legend.
The legend.
The legend himself. Now with Dual, I'd say all Maverick, Philip Scott, Roman Rahal, and Eric Monaco are all threats. Although Rahal is going to have to start winning if he wants to be a championship threat.
If he probably wants to stay in that seat.
Might seem a bit weird. Might take a while to get used to DeWalt in the 80, but I mean, Michigan company, they wanted to back a Michigan star, and what a better one than Philip Scott. One of the most popular drivers in the field.
Yeah. We looked through. We already know the big threats in
Whoa,
rank A.
man, they get so...
We already know
They get
the title
very
threats in rank
unnerved
A.
over that.
Yeah, they do with the high horsepower.
I almost saw Curtis wipe out right there. Great save by him.
But we do know all the threats up in rank A, but let's talk about dark horses. Who's your guys' pick as the dark horse for the championship this year?
Not to be like over egotistical, but Wolfstein's running third in the session currently.
Well, that's because he is very good at road courses.
First time, I know, but we also are going to run a lot of road courses this season.
We'll see how that goes. I would have to disagree that he is the biggest dark horse. In fact, his teammate is a much more threatening dark horse in my eyes. Sean Angel.
Great history with the team, I have to agree.
Yeah, he's had a great history with the team. He's a Royale champion, a 2-time winner, and overall, coming out of a slumping year, I do think he's the dark horse.
Personally, I'm looking in a different direction. The SCS's first female winner could definitely also become the second, and maybe the third. Skylar Johnson has a lot. I mean, her talent is obvious, and consistency was her issue last season, I think. And she already has good equipment, help from Honda. I think if she can get out that consistency bug and actually hammer out results week in, week out, she could actually be a title threat.
Very much true, yes. Skylar Johnson is definitely there, in my opinion, and definitely could be a thing.
Probably, I would suggest the most successful driver in the female driver in the Sunoco Elite Series history. I am aware Audra Baranowskis did win the Royale, but honestly, Skyla has done a lot more.
Clearly, Max Jackson.
Overall stats, she's just been the better driver overall.
But what about you, Roush? Who's your dark horse?
Clearly, Max Jackson's my dark horse.
Legitimately here. Who's your dark horse?
Oh man, it's hard to choose without bias.
Just looking over the field.
I think Johan can, if Johan can get used to the car quickly again, I think he'd be a very unsuspecting dark horse.
Another one is we could see the 17 back to being a champion.
Yeah.
Alex Benyako was so quick last year. Like, he blew expectations out of the water, and there was already high expectations as there was.
So he may be a sophomore, but there's some raw talent in there. There's some raw talent of Benyako. Who knows? Maybe he could just absolutely explode. He could just be our next hot young superstar on the SCS circuit.
He was fast in PLS too when he drove down there. He didn't win. He had one win, sure, but that doesn't speak for how quick he was. It's kind of the same with Griffin and Vincent and a lot of drivers.
Duncan now struggling this session after being top 10 in the first two. Then again, could be a sandbag. You never know.
This is also one of the probably the most high expected rookie classes in SCS history.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Big
do you think the
names, big equipment.
Do you think the 38 falls apart in the last part of the season again? Like it always does.
Well, I think they need to worry about the beginning of the season more because, risk for DNQing.
Yeah, he's got to get his Roush has got to get his early season under control and get himself another points.
There are two rank A cars that have to race their way in. The other being Cody Lamas. Full frontal. They have no charter. Well, no charter.
I mean, at least he's in the qualifiers himself rather than putting one of his other drivers to the Lambs.
I think the rank A's who don't have owner's points don't really have to worry about anything currently. Because
Yeah.
those cars are so strong, they would need someone to take them out.
They're still going to have a bunch of stress on their backs. They're probably going to be one of the harder workers if they do come up in championship range.
Yeah,
They will have to work the hardest.
they really will. If I'm correct, the entire Honda program has owner's points. If I'm correct, all Hondas have owner's points.
That is correct.
I know in Fitzwater, Australia, the only one who does not have owner's points is the
Is
27
Karenko.
car, who is looking arguably the strongest out of the three in preseason testing, but he is also looking to be sandbagging in this session.
As for Monarch, it's Vince Freeze and Shane Vincent who will have to be racing their way in.
Which you got to make the rookie go through. You got to give the experienced guys the chance to shine. And so far in this session specifically, Monarch is not doing that good. 41st, I see 36th, 31st, and where is 58? 23rd.
I'd almost say they are also sandbagging, at least some of those operations.
Well, Monarch does have a decent amount of drivers that are more like speedway ringers. I mean, definitely Shane Vincent. Like Vincent is far and beyond a speedway ringer. He's not good on these road courses.
The original schedule that Vincent had was going to put him on road courses and do him trial by fire when he was with RRE.
Yeah, Vincent kind of rejected that.
There is Wolfstein, third place currently. He had always performed amazing at the road courses down in lights, and it looks like he wants to follow that legacy through to elites.
He also got 2 speedway wins last season in Panasonic.
Well,
which
whenever you
surprising,
think
but-
Wolfsie Bod Schaefer, everyone always thinks road course.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
He's always
in
blazing
season
fast.
1, he finished, I believe, every race that was a road course in the top 5, which is insane.
Yeah,
That's definitely a good record to have.
and he is currently beating a season 3 champion who is also a road ringer, being Matt Sanderson. So there's definitely going to be a confidence booster for him. But currently leading the session is yet another road ringer. But it's special for this. There's the reason he's leading is because he's won here. That's Cordell Paulson.
Look who's second.
Paulson, he's a winner around here. He's the season 4 champion. He is just, yeah, this is pretty expected out of him.
5 years ago, if you said he was going to be a future legend, prodigy, and champion of the sport, I would have laughed in your face. But after getting into Clever Haas and winning that championship, he turned into a legend in a snap.
If you would have told me that Max Anderson was going to be a god after his first season, I mean, I would have
Psych!
completely cried. I would have cried.
But yeah,
It's
then
just
Anderson
insane
exploded.
how some of these guys have improved.
But then
And
there's just
then some
Jackson.
drivers did the opposite of that, but
Yeah, some of the drivers started their careers so well and then just
they just
died.
kind of fell apart. I
Now
feel like,
Now we're on the
Thanks.
driver that's always been.
I feel like
threat.
Vance Caldwell is kind of one of the most infamous examples of that.
Yeah,
He was a threat in his early years, but then like by 2017, like it's obvious his best years were behind him.
And he was getting dumped by the 38.
And just Roush Racing and him did not have a very good relationship.
Like sort of talk about Caldwell though. This is the first season that there will be no semblance of Epic Motorsports or Vance Caldwell.
Not even a 95.
Which they were season 1 and champions and dominators, I would even say. So
They were the
it's-
Season 1 Drivers' Champions and the Season 2 Constructors' Champions, and all remnants of Epic Motorsports are now gone.
which is insane.
Oh.
They're I don't know. I believe they're adjusting to different opportunities.
Yeah,
And
while
Jackson-
Vance Caldwell is not one of the most popular drivers, it's certainly a shame that
Whoa.
his career had to end with an injury.
Yeah, it's pretty severe.
Yeah,
And Jackson is racing insane with Darrell right now. Just want to mention that.
yeah. I've been keeping an eye on this whole time. That Darrell has been.
It is a testing session, not the final lap. Can you chill?
Don't.
Yeah.
He's Australian. It's what he does.
And Jackson has joined the chat. Oh, he's caught up now. Dope. Welcome, Jackson. Look through Bouchard
I think
performing
Max
very
Jackson
well.
could legitimately win a race, guys.
Daniel Bouchard performing very well in this session. He is a road ringer, so it's expected that that 15 car would be that strong. I just saw a shift somewhere. Why did I see a shift in the order?
Someone could have jumped up from within the top 10.
Maybe just a time jumped higher. Maybe I'm wrong. Thought I saw someone jump. Duncan back in the pits. As mentioned, Duncan
40.
just...
I don't know if the 40's been there.
Duncan seems to be sandbagging. 40
Oh,
was
10 with the P6.
there. 10 was always there.
Was the 40 always there?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
They've
I
always
can't
been.
even read it because my internet just decides to be
Oh, I
Ease.
can't either, but
bad.
Johan Art currently sits P11 on track. He's got to get
And
used
is
to
right
that
behind.
Pontiac.
and he's right behind John.
Yep, the Arnts are together currently. Interesting. And we seem to be having the same effect that we did back in Denver. Yeah, okay, I'm just crazy then. But same effect down in Denver, back in Denver, and is that we started the session with a lot of movement, and there is now no movement at the top.
Probably because everyone's just not going into the pits and getting more tires.
Everyone
It is-
wants to
Yeah.
lengthen these tires, get their long run speeds.
Yeah,
Experience.
testing long run cars, getting comfortable with the package.
Yep. Oh, Eric getting a little risky with Fuller. Don't want to die, but currently at the bottom of the barrel. Gerard Ron. 2/10 down. He is
Whoa.
definitely
That is-
sandbagging.
Oh wow.
That is not the driver I would have thought to have been sandbagging.
For a D tier team, well, it might be less sandbagging and more there could be something wrong with that car.
Possibly.
That's a
Got
little.
an
That's,
engine.
I feel that's a little too far behind to be sandbagging.
Skyla near the back again. Could this not be sandbagging? It's just this car is not living up to expectations? I doubt it. Are they just not caring about preseason testing?
I mean, the 05's in 34th.
Yeah, they might not
Arndt's
be
been
caring
doing a
about
lot of
speed.
stopping, too.
I'd also like to mention, how do you guys think the part-time cup will fare against these guys? Because they were not invited to these sessions. And they will have to race the same time these guys start racing at Pensacola.
It's possible that lack of track time might hurt them, but they're certainly just preparing the cars.
Yep.
Like
Teams have their own methods.
yeah.
I mean, I know Bavarian rents out the BMW test track once in a while.
Well,
Or uses, I mean.
yeah, but teams like Gatlin Downey, they don't really have the funds to explore that much. It'll be an interesting thing to see on race day.
Yeah.
Or
Connor
dual
Monaco holding
day.
a top 15 right now. Very solid. Trying to just pull out a good performance here. That is the 63 of Connor Hurley in the top 20. That's
There
very
are
impressive.
definitely some weird results, not because of some teams sandbagging.
Oh, I'd also like to talk about Hood Huddleston has left the series.
Yes, Hood Huddleston is gone. Crabrave.
And so
Yeah, same.
They
Um,
certainly went out on with a bizarre season, with a lot of it being just the typical Hood Huddleston performance. On the other hand, we had unbelievable scenes at this track 1 year ago.
And then even more unbelievable scenes later that year in the last La Colina race, where the team scored their first and only ever win.
it
In their
can't be any
last
more. It
race.
can't be any more unbelievable than NOR getting kicked out just
Just-
before the PLS season. began.
Just like what I mean, just with the guy that Duncan's probably still bitter about over a few years ago.
Yep. And Scout Johnson.
What a great way to end that team, though.
Laughter Stukel had a 6-year career, 1 pole position coming this place last year, and that was all she really did.
Yeah,
was
she had
just
some great
there.
performances, but
She
There
did
were
get an amazing pole.
but she-
The tires were very strange on these cars.
say like, might be it'd probably be considered few and far between if I'm being honest.
Yeah, why do I keep saying Scout? Laughter Stukel, it wasn't a great career.
She
But it
had
was
a
good.
solid stint in like season 4 and season 5, and then she just kind of went back to mediocrity after that.
Yeah.
But I believe she's the only Spanish driver to ever get a shot in the Sunoco Elite Series. So there is that. She does hold that little bit of history as the only
She
Spanish
was-
driver in a race.
She was also one of the only drivers to race in rank D in their entire career.
Perhaps she could have done better if she had better equipment, but we'll never know.
Unless
The
she
only
comes
other
back.
equipment she ever drove for was Red Stallion back in season 1,
And
before taking a pretty pivotal part of the Hood Huddleston team before her name was added to the team.
and then they
And then the
left
team died.
with her name.
F.
Yeah,
it
it's
was a very
definitely an F.
strange. It was very strange under
It
the
was a
blanket for Hood Huddleston, but
There were rumors that Gatlin Downey was planning to buy her equipment out, but
I think he did.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if that came to fruition or not.
I'm pretty sure, considering Gatlin Downey's opening up the part-time cup.
would be a
That's-
very quiet deal
yeah.
if it did.
I do. Yeah, that might have been it. They probably bought those chassis. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's probably.
possible. It is certainly possible that GDI may be running like HHSR chassis this season.
I heard that
Maybe.
one of them was named Freakish.
I mean, how is that thing not? I mean, let's be honest, it's probably Downey's car.
But yeah, a lot of people really showing their stuff here. And I'll hold up. You got it. Obviously, the road course swingers are all going to be showing themselves here because this is rivaled with Cardiala as the most technical track, and that is Max Jackson.
One of the roughest tracks, I would say. This
Is
track
that a
is
mechanical
elevation
issue?
change heavy.
Is that a
It's
mechanical
great. Oh,
issue
wow.
for the 5? It is.
I think a tire's down on that car.
He went 13 whole laps before the unlucky number but bit him.
Actually, is there damage on that car?
I think so.
I thought there's some left side damage there.
I do not
yeah.
see any damage.
You don't?
No
Well,
damage. This is
Do you have a
purely
camera on
mechanical. Oh, it's there's definitely no
Yeah,
damage
they-
on that car.
Oh wow, they are packing up there.
Yep.
Or were
I'm surprised no one died. Yeah, there's no damage there. It's just
Clean
light.
session.
Oh, clean session a little, because Thaber just pushed Jackson out of the way. But that is the session coming to an end. The 3rd preseason testing session.
That's a favorite thing to do.
Kind of interesting considering yeah, Ray may have used to drive for Faber's team in PLS.
No.
Remember what happened?
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
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 I wonder if Faber's gonna take an opportunity to maybe take him out. Race car drivers tend to have long memories. They don't forgive and forget that easily.
Especially when you're an owner.
But it is the 42 car on top here in Nahuapi in Argentina, and it decided to eat a giant schlong.
Do you want me to move Chris in?
Is the stream still live, by the way?
No.
It
Oh,
just
that's
went
back up.
All right,
That's
so
back.
we are back. Yeah,
That
sorry
was a
about
little
that.
scary.
Issues.
Oh, stream died again.
Yeah.
So there's Alan down there, and there's
Me.
UV air down.
Yeah, it might cut out again. I'm not sure. It could go very wrong very quickly. Twin Ring Motegi. Japan. It's being theorized that this could become the round of Japan once more. Putting Tokyo
that
World
case,
back
that
on
would-
the replacement list. We shall see as 4D cars will be back up, and it will be the last preseason testing session before the 2018 season will officially get underway.
Probably one of the most technical ovals planned to be on the calendar. And soon.
It was not there last year because there was some concerns
Oregon.
about there were some concerns about the track surface, and as you can see, the track surface has been repaved this year. Brand new tarmac on, and the IceCar officials have approved it. Now we just need to see if this place can produce good enough runs in testing to replace Tokyo World.
It's already
Tokyo World's
on.
also starting to age a little bit.
Because Tokyo World has big safety concerns.
And
that
too.
confusing things.
And it is William Duncan, first out on track here in Motegi.
Who most recently won here?
In Motegi?
Yeah,
Wasn't it you?
pretty sure. I was making sure.
I think it was you. Now,
Last.
look, out of character here. The reason I'm so afraid of this track because, Duncan, did the pit LPs ever get updated?
The panic LPs were the issue.
I thought it was the pit LPs.
Oh wait, what?
I think there's some problems with the pit LPs here. So we could see some deaths due to pit LPs being dumb. I don't know.
Back to character.
Duncan, currently on top. One last 30-minute session. But yeah, along with, we also do have the huge schedule reshuffle coming into play with the European Tour much earlier this year.
And that's not to mention that it's also been a shuffle in the PLS as well.
Yep.
IceCrow has reorganized their schedule massively. There are now segments of the American Tour and a bunch of other stuff.
And the European Tour is split away from the International Tour. Ooh, Duncan running out. Everyone's trying to run the middle line through here. No one wants to really run the low line. Brock's running the low line to try to get through Windhelm here, which he will. But once again, it seems the Pontiacs have stopped sandbagging.
They're really good on these ovals.
And Johan, I don't think has ever been here.
That is Gerard III. That is Wolfstein back up near the top. But it's just the start of the session, so everything's going to be very shuffly at the start. Yeah, you can already see Wolfstein's already been recycled down all the way almost out of the top 10.
That's
Griffin.
Angel.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Or, yeah.
I think Max Jackson will be the quickest.
He's 15th quickest right now. He's not doing
three
too bad.
wide right here.
But he's in a 3 wide. Griffin, the person who won the other Speedway test, is in the podium spot for this test, and Duncan The Denver test winner is trying to lead test, but it's Roman Rahal to the top of the boards.
I'd also like to mention, we just saw Max Jackson make a very daring move early here in this preseason testing session. Do you think he will be a very safe driver for the remainder of the season?
No.
Realistically.
I mean,
No.
the driving for good thing on his quarter panel is not telling of what he's capable of.
That and that car is very unstable. Rank D cars do not have a lot of money to purchase suspension or handling products to assist their cars as much as the rank C's, B's, or A's. So I'm kind of frightened to know what's gonna happen.
Where is PJ Karenko? We
but
expect
I
to
don't
see him back up,
think
but he's stuck
he
outside
will
of a
be
3
that
wide.
safe.
Thank you, Max.
Oh, but they're really racing.
Shock
Over
Allison
in
is
this
really good around speedways.
Is he really racing him, or is this just Max Jackson being Max Jackson?
Karenko
No,
trying to
they're-
be one of the fastest guys like usual.
Wow, that
but...
80's trying to find different lines, probably in the worst spot of the track.
And that is, yep, Eric has pointed it out that Connor Monaco up in a P6. He loves speedways. He loves his speedways. Cody Lamas to the top by 0.02 of a second over Skyway Johnson.
Oh boy.
Lamas, the big wild card up in rank A, is...
He's getting a great slipstream from
Oh,
Art.
yeah. But so is Pericles
I'm
from the...
back.
You have returned. Oh, there has been an incident. Someone has spun. Was it Ray Hall?
It could have been Max
I see
Jackson.
Roush on the 8th. Oh,
I think
they
I'm
are
just,
very slow.
I think I was just exiting pits. Yeah, I was exiting the pits.
We need to check where the
God.
smoke is coming from.
Moloch.
Oh, this was a long time ago. Oh! That is the 15 on his roof!
The fuck?
Wow.
What?
That is
It was a
huge
battle
accident.
with the 88, and the 39 just, taps him. Okay, that wasn't as aggressive as I thought it was. He just kind of casually rolled on his
Probably
roof.
should have left.
At least it wasn't violent.
I feel like Bowers might get fined for that.
I don't. It wasn't
Rip
violent.
those red wheels. They're dead.
It wasn't violent. If anything, the flipping
Feel that
definitely
was a
helped.
dangerous move to make a move right there.
Eh.
He might get fined for that, but that's besides
He
the
might
point.
get a fine.
Bouchard's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
and
Bouchard's
that's
fine.
the important thing.
Back on the boards. Cody Lamas up at the top.
Just hop out of your car and get over to pit wall. We got anyone
So,
right?
first speedway incident of this. No, that's not right.
That's the second.
Yep, second speedway incident of the season. We have a car tumbling on the roof. Well, not tumbling, but
I
sliding.
see the
across
flipping
on
is
the-
starting already.
but
Which again raises the question: is horsepower going to be a danger for both the series and these drivers?
well, the big thing I'm focusing on right now is the fact that for the second speedway test in a row, Shock Allison is blazing fast. They got some
Probably-
horsepower.
They are insane. They know how to set up their cars on the straightaways.
They got straight line speed
Definitely.
on right now. But Cody
We keep
Lamas
Art
liking straight
behind.
line speed
DRS enabled.
as well. DRS enabled. Let's go.
Oh, aren't
Bobo
making
Jones.
contact.
Bobo at the
behind.
bottom of the board. Look through. Oh, Fuller lost everything there. Allows Duncan on the outside, and then he'll weave down the inside. A Shepherd on the inside.
I swear.
It's in good track position. Paulson, don't come up. Thank you. Good spotter. Windhelm.
Windhelm.
Right? Inside.
You have 3 cars inside.
That is DJ Curtis. DJ Curtis. Well, Sean Angel. This is not IES. Sean Angel in the top 10.
What's IS?
Well, what's IES? Because we're at this Motegi. It's like, I see a 78 at this Motegi, and I'm like, oh, I know who that is. No, you don't. And Willie D back to the top. Welcome back.
Where is Max Jackson?
Well, that bodes
I'm
well.
curious.
6th.
How?
Max is
I
in a
guess
good
I was-
pack right now too. He's got Angel behind him. He's got Karenko in front of him, who's been strong throughout all of testing. I'd say he's in a good pack right now. He's got a good slipstream from the people around him. Going well.
These guys are being very conservative.
What about the 37? Yeah, he's in a big pack. Oh, this is a scary pack. I don't like how close these guys are getting to each other. Bowers, don't go up.
Earlier.
Bowers, stay low, please.
No.
Good. Okay. Because, Duncan, didn't you say the pit LPs around here suck?
I think they were fixed, weren't they?
Did Will Hoyt fix them?
I don't remember.
But
I guess
Max
we'll find
Jackson
out.
falls
All I
in
know is,
position.
all I know is they usually don't hit pit walls anymore.
Looks like Cordell Paulson has now jetted his way up P4.
I think the 38 sandbagging.
Also, yeah, that's 60 free. I believe that livery might be updated for the start of the season.
It is. It will be updated for the season start. He's just going to run this scheme for the time being, but he will have a much more vibrant scheme as the season begins. Yeah, and the 38 is definitely sandbagging. He's down P40. And Halleck for the 4th race in a row. Down at the bottom. A race. 4th session in a row. This pack is scaring me a lot. I don't
intense,
like this. Anderson up to P2. Ray Hall up to P1.
They're testing how these cars can do in these packs, and they're being a bit too aggressive.
I think some of these rank A cars are now thinking we've collected enough information. Let's show them what we got. And Ray Hall is definitely showing that he's more than half a tenth ahead.
Also, the huge slipstream from behind. This pack of 5, not really battling as I
I guess
feel.
that's the difference between
Right, lots of slipstream. Oh, 3 wide up front.
We got 3 wide, Windhelm, Brock, and Durrell. It's just going to solve itself out naturally. Not a good momentum boost from that inside line around here in turns 1 and 2. Krenko, once again, up in a decent position, this time up in P16. I see Gerard Aron has moved his way up to 3rd.
You really see how solid that middle groove is.
Middle groove's so strong around here. In 3 and 4, you can definitely make a pass on the inside, as shown by Connor Monaco there. But in 1 and 2, it is not easy to make a pass on the inside.
You'd need a lot.
Will you people set? Curtis, never do that again. Oh, never do that again. Jesus Christ. These people are way too risky.
Again, this is a testing session, not the final lap of a race. Why are you driving like that?
It's way too early in the championship for this.
Championship hasn't even begun. You can probably lose it in testing, though.
Yeah. I mean, we've already seen someone get their championship. We've already seen someone get their championship hopes taken away in preseason. Nathan Orland.
Yeah. He had big championship aspirations.
Oh,
And then he confronted the ice crew officials.
The guy we do not speak of.
The guy who approached the ice crew officials saying it was rigged before the season even started.
He kept saying that they got bribed.
Yeah, that ended predictably.
And he refused to get in the car, then spread propaganda, and we'd never see him again.
He started a disease.
Like,
And then
went
in
out
comes
in the
Julio
worst.
Cesar and Angel Navarro.
Yeah.
Y'all
And,
remember when racing was dangerous and then sex was safe? Thanks to Nathan Ormond.
And I mean, like, at least someone like Rob Mooney went out like a man, pile driving
With a
someone into
lawsuit.
oblivion.
that and getting he got sued crazy amounts of money after that pretty
Pretty sure he lost that
immature
lawsuit.
call of just running into the driver's door of William Brock, which should have gotten him his license revoked.
It did.
Like
No, it gave him a
the irony
lawsuit
the irony of a team called Money Motorsports running out of money.
because of almost injuring a driver on purpose. And Rob Mooney claims that
It was an accident.
it was an accident. I never meant to do it, but I don't
I
know
don't
about
see how that's an
When
accident.
you're driving, when you're literally speeding at a pit road at 170 miles an hour and dash straight onto the track
Well,
and pile drive him driver's side, you can't say that's an accident.
oh crap, my throat. I'm sorry.
Like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit the driver's door. My throttle was stuck. I lost all my steering at that point. I tried to hit his rear end at about 20 miles per hour.
Sorry, I thought it was my ex.
Which would have gotten him into probably more trouble, but that's besides the point. Let's continue.
Well, let's continue. Instead of roasting Rob Mooney, even though he's not around anymore, so we can make fun of him all. Whoa, Angel, no.
So, question: why is Iran in second?
Don't question it. He's been there for a while.
It was better when you didn't mention anything.
No, he's gonna just fall through order.
Where is the 83? Hanging out with his teammate, Eric Monaco, who is sandbagging again. Actually, I'm not sure if he's sandbagging. He might not be. He might just be struggling around here. Even though he likes his speedways.
You never know.
His one win came at a speedway. Duncan could be getting a better time right now, but he's got a 42 car to deal with.
And then his teammate makes it free wide. That's probably the other big dilemma of with Maverick Wolf. Teamwork. That was honestly their biggest issue, and
It's
was
still an
almost
issue.
it was almost their downfall.
It's still an issue.
And Jason Wolf, Jason Wolf has been pretty vocal about his team and and there's sometimes poor synergy that all came to a head at La Colina last year.
And you can tell that there's a difference between RE and MWR in that aspect. I mean, Roush did not have to dump Vance Caldwell like he did.
Well, I'd also like to mention Wolf comes from a background that is very teamwork oriented. The World IndyCar Championship, which is in a controversial state currently, but that is off topic. But he came from a vital background of teamwork, and to see this stock car racing aspect literally the complete opposite, Scott almost taking out what would be the champion at La Colina after Jackson was getting way too aggressive with his teammates. It's just
That's
no
understatement.
team relationship at all with these guys, and Wolf's gonna do something. I feel if this doesn't improve.
And Eric, IndyCar does exist in this universe. Just saying.
But yes, I feel like that could potentially be their biggest problem and their downfall if it does not improve.
No,
Yeah.
Kyle, he's in the storyline to die.
But let's see, who else? It's only 13 minutes left in preseason testing before preseason's done. Well, except for, Trailblazer actually finishing their cars, Aiden, and the 37 and the 45 and 77 getting finished.
Man, Rahal is super fast in
Stop.
that Maverick.
The more you do that, the more it takes. The longer it'll take.
Y'all mentioned the type is in way too much, and there's a reason it hasn't been finished yet.
Cause you suck.
Yeah.
Like, we're bringing the Typhon in, and we're gonna take the fight to the other manufacturers. It'll be. We gotta do some extra testing, but it'll be ready by next year. We're gonna we gotta. We'll be ready for the Royale. Wasn't quite ready for the start of the season. It'll be.
We'll have it ready for next season.
It'll be back next season.
I also believe they did try to enter an earlier model, but they were declined as the regulations of the car were very off-putting. They found a lot of stuff in there that should not have been in a Sunoco Elite Series stock car. A lot.
Well,
Like
seeing
jet
how
fuel.
No. A bunch of just tactics, and that's probably one of the reasons Benoit's moved to and expanded the team to Europe, where he is
Well-
racing in the European Club of Rally, which
Well,
has
let's be honest here.
basically no regulations.
let's be honest here. What the officials probably found was most likely not illegal in the car sense, but there was most likely some methamphetamines in there. It's been a while.
Hey, we were paid not to talk about that.
Too bad we're talking about it.
Oh shit, Benoit.
Benoit the Terror being exposed.
This is only a rumor. I want my job.
Hey, I don't get paid.
Ah, yes. But yeah, well, how is Scott Ganassi's not doing that good, are they?
No.
Yeah, no, they're doing pretty terrible actually. Their highest member being John Arndt in 27th. Scott Ganassi does not seem to like it around here. I am surprised we haven't seen another incident where someone died. I shouldn't have said it! 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 No one,
That's
no.
a massive accident.
I said it. I shouldn't have said it.
Thanks, guys.
And that is two of the strongest people in preseason testing involved in that incident. I believe the 42 was involved as well.
27? No.
Some of
Well, is someone gonna get into the 4? No. Okay.
no, we are good. They're pulled
It is
down in pit
Bad
lane.
for team funds. I do have to say so myself.
Yeah, I just did the ultra commentators cursed, except it was instantaneous.
You want me?
That was instantaneous that it happened.
Yeah, some people are gonna
Not
probably
like that.
beat you up after that.
A good thing for RRE, they have two of their
I hear
cars in the
William
top
Duncan
10.
coming here down literally on the ramp right now. I think he's coming to kick your ass.
Oh, he's got to go.
But RRE has two of their cars in the top 10. So maybe they're the two that are really testing the waters with the how the cars feel.
I feel like if anybody were to do that, it'd probably be Vincent, because he got damaged in that too.
Oh no.
That I would say he's not a guy you want to piss off, but I mean, he's a pretty scrawny dude.
Is that Vincent coming down the ramp too?
He's a hothead, but he's not gonna. I would say he's not gonna try to actually fight you, but
But he will.
I wouldn't say he's the smartest person off the track.
Yeah. They're staying within 3/10 of their fastest laps. It's just they're not getting fastest laps anymore. Everything's just kind of calmed down this
I
session.
believe all the
Other than,
tarmac-
the death, but...
I believe the group has kind of.
We don't
blurred
talk about
they're
the
at.
big death.
Please don't kill each
Yeah,
other.
this has been a very
Cars are disposable.
chaotic track so far.
That's
Lots
the
of aggression.
expectation.
Well, yes, but this is also preseason testing.
Oh,
my. Wolfstein almost cut across the 28 or
And
27
Kranko came
right
back
there.
at him.
I can't believe I said that.
Kranko is back out front though. Or back out front. Back out on track after the incident.
Oh.
I don't think he'll be up to speed. How is Duncan out on track? He is now. Coming back out. Ray Hall back out on track. Overall, I would definitely say the strongest through preseason testing currently has been Liam Duncan. Even with him, you know, dying.
Crashing.
This'll I mean, you all know how it's gonna be. He's gonna show some incredible pace in testing, and then the season starts, and he's
Dad.
he's like 25th in points. You know, his favorite position.
Oh no.
Someone I did expect to do a lot better is Jack Halleck. Halleck did bad in this testing. I'm not sure if he just sandbagged the whole time or if he's just not adapting to that Ford.
Which definitely can be the case.
It's
One
a
of the-
very different environment over there at Monaco Dynasty. You also have to remember, I mean, well, the 3 and the 5, they have, you know, like the same staff from last year. That 31, brand new team at Monaco Dynasty.
Yep.
I also have to say that
It's probably more than just Halleck getting acclimated.
Halleck was very adjusted to the low horsepower, low downforce package we had not that long ago, and was very good with it in his early runs, and it still won races even last season. But it seems like it's too much just power, and we've gained a little bit of downforce as well. So I believe that also causes fact. It's just a different environment for him, and he probably would rather stay with the older models.
But Max Jackson actually showing some stuff here. Using the experience he gained training with his brother to legitimately try to do something.
Also, I believe he is learning off the cars in front of him. Lines on the track. Smart idea.
It's P12. He was near the top before, but he's dropped back since.
Still 12.
The Shock Allison cars were really dominant at the start of the session, but that's just kind of slowed down. They're 8th and 9th. But right now,
Still pretty good speed from those guys.
it is Maverick Wolf
girl.
Racing with 5 minutes to go on top with Roman Rahal. Although he hasn't won a race since season 2.
Wow, this better be the year.
I'm not sure if I would say that his ride's in jeopardy, but he's definitely got to do something.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it either, but you also do have to remember that I mentioned before, Honda it's a pretty high pressure environment there with the new like building driver program.
And out of nowhere, the 87 just went to the top. It is a Maverick. It is a Honda 1-2 in Japan's track. Rigged?
I get.
I mean, it is
I
Honda's
guess he was.
test facility.
So
do I hear Nathan Ormond tweeting right now? Conspiracies, the aliens are rigging America.
That sounds like an Alex Jones thing.
Well, you know, Ormond's releasing this new.
The frickin' aliens are bringing NASCAR. It's Alex Jones, dude.
I guess Monaco was sandbagging.
Yep.
I think Ormond was on the latest
Infowars.
episode of Infowars. You're right.
But yeah, Eric
Alex
Monaco, I
Jones
guess he
claims
was
that
sandbagging
Cos-
after all.
He agreed with the calling.
And-
made
Fox
of believe
gate.
Sandy Hook was staged.
3 minutes left in the session, and people are starting to move. Cordell Paulson is now up into 5th.
Shit, I clicked off the link. I'm so fucking stupid.
People are starting to make moves very late. I guess a lot of people have their tires back. Got some new tires, and everyone's making a mad dash to win this last session. But Maverick Wolf looking to end preseason testing the same way they ended last season. 1-2.
I'm kind of
Kill
frightened.
me.
But we got 2 minutes left in the session. It is not over. I will. We have. Okay, I just want to make sure the time is good, so it doesn't automatically skip. But it is currently Eric Monaco at the top of the list, one of the highest expectation drivers in the field, doing what is expected. And Eric, no, there isn't Toyota. Toyota is not in the field this year.
Not in a.
Toyota has left their departures.
Toyota pretty much yeet it out of the league.
Yep.
After Epic Motorsports' fall, they lost interest in this series and are now pursuing other ambitions.
PLS.
Oh no!
No, we
Please
don't
no!
talk about
Please
that.
no! Please no! Okay, I thought they were gonna die.
They're still in PLS.
Does
Well, I don't
Rahal
know.
have anything
Factory supporting
for Eric Monaco? Okay, now I pause because it's on standby. I don't want it to just skip to qualifying mid-session. So, 1 minute left in the session.
That's disgusting. Intrepid.
Yeah, Toyota
These
is
guys are
only
getting-
in the PLS now.
Which
And
I
that-
don't even think the factory is backing it up. It's just in there for privateers.
And that is Shane Vincent pulling into the pits, probably his session over. I
are
see
getting
him
very
calling out of that
aggressive.
car now. Why do I hear boss music?
No.
No, he has a gun. No, run! Lock the doors! But the session coming to an
Can we go to Eric or the 14?
The 14. Johan Art down in P40.
No,
Oh,
I don't
no,
want to
sorry,
talk about
people.
him. I don't want to talk about him, but doesn't that sign on the in front of the B pillar look like the when an anime person's mad?
What?
Like a creasing in the
What
head.
I have no.
You've
clue
never
what you're
seen
talking
that in
about.
an anime where that goes.
Oh, I've seen that before. I don't understand.
I just have no clue what you're talking about, and there we are. Now it's back.
It just
lot.
hovers over their head and they're like, ah!
And the session is complete, so the winner of the last preseason testing session, Eric Monaco, after sandbagging the first 3 testing sessions, comes out and wins the last one. Shows his stuff. But overall, this pretty much summed up how we expected it to go. A lot of the big teams showing themselves a few interesting things, like Connor Hurley popped his way in the top 10 near the end of the session. We didn't see that. Schaefer in the top 15 at a speedway. Huh. And
It's not
dead last
really-
in the session, going to Roger Ray.
That's a big surprise.
Yeah, out of the top 30 for every Scott Ganassi car.
Well,
That's not
hopefully they're going to be hoping to find more speed as we head to Pensacola.
As we head to Pensacola, because, yep, now we're going to have the duels, which will be very soon. We'll probably see practice going up within the next few days here. Maybe tomorrow. Oh, no. I'm not sure if the people are going to get their schemes done in time. Aiden. Roush.
Shut up.
Bitch.
The more you do that, the longer it'll take.
Y'all keep mentioning the typhoon. There's a fucking reason that isn't fucking done yet.
Well, it wouldn't get done anyway.
You're right.
But that does conclude preseason testing. We've covered the whole grid Schedule is to be posted soon on the Discord, because if you haven't actually seen it on the Bibble, it will be posted in its own channel on the Discord very soon after this live stream ends, so be prepared for that. And it will be the season opener, the start of the 2018 season will be happening very soon once schemes get done.
Shut up.
You're still
And we'll be
a
ready to roll for practice in Florida. And until then, guys, ciao.